Hello viewers, Super GT here, welcome back. Glad to have you along for another ride on Gran Turismo Sport. So we arrive once again at Maggiore. Here we go then. This was the scene of that filthy video where, well, you probably saw it, called Far Too Aggressive. If you watched it, I hope you've recovered and I hope you've had a nice shower because it was that dirty. So we come here again. This is the full version of the circuit. Now let's hope that this time it isn't as dirty as the previous encounter. This time in the Manufacturers' Cup, driving in Group 4. So you can see here again, I've gone for Nissan. Well, I can't choose the brand once again. I've already chosen Nissan, and that's it. I'm stuck with Nissan. So we have the GTR here, gone for a really sort of classic JDTC livery. You may well remember this car back from the old Gran Turismo days. So a bit of a blast from the past there. So this was my best qualifying lap, or the end of it at least, crossing the line to go with 207.0. At that moment they're putting me in 8th, which is okay. In these FIA races these days, I think anything inside the top 10 is good for me because the quality is just that much. It's just that much higher now. And in FIA races, the track limits are very strict. So you can see they're just grazing the apex of turn number 2, the hairpin, and well, that's too much. I did go just about beyond the white line, and that, well, I couldn't do another lap basically. So that time was my best. So here's the grid, a fairly close grid as usually is here. But anyway, roll the intro. Okay, here we go then. Starting 13th out of 15, not ideal, quite far towards the back. I mean, 13th wouldn't be too bad if there was 20 people in the race. I think about 5 people backed out before the race even started, pulling out their Ethernet cables presumably before the race even got underway. So then, here we go. Quinton getting a really good launch off the turn. I've gone down to fuel setting 2. I'm trying to save fuel immediately. Into the first corner. Going to try to take the outside line, which gives me then the inside for turn 2, but it's kind of bunched up in front of me and I couldn't really go anywhere. So ultimately going to lose that position to Quinton in the Audi TT. So these races often get like this. The front pack sort of spreads out very quickly and gets away, but if you're in the mid pack towards the back, it can get very bunched and very aggressive. We of course saw that in the previous video. Austrian already getting a penalty. So congratulations to him for kicking off the race in typical Gran Turismo Sport fashion. So I suppose my aim is always just to try to move forwards from my grid slot. Let's see if that is achievable. Let's see if I can do that. So this is the fast sweeping chicane, which is really important actually because it leads out onto the back straight and probably the best overtaking opportunity on the entire circuit. And it's actually very difficult to get that one quite exactly right. So down the back straight, going to tuck into the slipstream as much as possible, of course, just trying to fuel save as much as we can. 11 laps on offer, so we will have to pit. End of lap 5, end of lap 6. Perhaps end of lap 5 might be the better option to sort of undercut the opposition. You gain maybe a second or 2 by doing it, and you just got to hope that the guys ahead don't do the same thing, otherwise you're just all going to gain the same amount of time. So coming up the hill, fast flowing chicane, flat out in a Group 4 car. It is flat in a Group 3 car to be fair, but it's just a little bit more tricky in a Group 3 car. You do have to kind of nail it. So last couple of corners on this lap, beautiful circuit. This Maggiore, one of the best tracks in the game for me. Great flowing circuit, and we do need to make it a real circuit. Looking up the inside, wasn't quite there, maybe had about 10% alongside, wasn't quite going to work out. Kind of forced him into a bad position on the way out instead, and that's going to give me a better run down the main straight into turn 1. I'm let's say 50% alongside, or 50% ahead now, fully ahead into turn 2, sorry, into turn 1, and now into turn 2. He's going to go the long way round through the hairpin, not quite going to have it for him. The McLaren there, get backing right off. I'm going to go back up into 12th, or up into 12th for the first time. Up now behind a Ferrari. So through turn 4, through the apex of 4, onto this mini back straight. This is also a very good overtaking opportunity into here. It's a very sort of quirky braking zone as you're kind of turning while braking, and it does open up quite a lot on the inside. You can definitely go for moves here, where you will pay the price on the exit. You do want a good run here, especially as it's uphill. It does kind of slow you down a little bit, so you do want to get the best momentum you possibly can up the hill into this fast sweeping chicane. I think I'm turning in a little bit too early there. You do need to kind of hook yourself along that first curve for the majority of it, which sets you up nicely for the second and then the third curve. I think for those chicanes, for sequences of corners, you do need to get the first one right, and it kind of sets you nicely to get the rest of it right. Look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cars, and then the cars behind me, look how close this is. Yes, it's only lap 2, but if this was a Forza race, we'd be lapping people already, and the fuel spread would be about 10 seconds between each car. So this, I mean, I said it in my GT Sport review, or GT versus Forza review. I mean, there's obvious strengths in Forza, but it's just if you want the absolute close racing, you're much more likely to get it on Gran Turismo Sport, and it's just proven to be the case time and time again, especially with these FIA races. The quality is there. Yes, there are rammers still. Yes, there are idiots who do stupid things, but you can see just how close the racing is, and it's between multiple cars as well. Even though, despite the dominance of some cars recently, there are multiple cars on offer here, and it is very close. Braking just beyond the 100-metre board. The Ferrari up the inside. What was going on there? That was never on. Let's have a look again. Look at the inside. Look at the Ferrari on the left-hand side. Up the inside of 5 people. Up the inside of 4 people. Slams into the Audi TT. That move was never going to work, and well, it didn't work. He just murdered someone outright, so he's going to have to go to prison. So his penalty will be 20 years in jail, if not bring back capital punishment, and he might have to see the electric chair or the gallows. Anyway, I'm up to 10th as a result. All of that anarchy at turn 1. Quite what he was thinking, I don't know. Forgot his medication for the day. Down into turn 5, kind of keep it wide as long as possible, and then come back for a very late apex, power out of this turn. It's up this hill into this, what I consider the crucial section of the circuit, and this really makes or breaks your lap, and normally it breaks my lap because I'm so bad at it. See again, turning in too early, leaving the apex too early, and it's kind of compromising me for the second and third parts of the corner, and I'm just losing couple of attempts, which can be crucial, or which are crucial. It's going to be crucial on any race, especially a race as close as this one, because the people ahead are just going to pull away slightly. You're not within slipstream range anymore, and you're not getting sucked along for free. So I think I gained actually a little bit through Big Banky Boy corner onto the back of this Atenza ahead. Coming through the last couple of corners, we've got Porsche Cayman there in 8th place. The Cayman proved to be a very good car. When we went to this circuit in that previous video, it was actually the west version of the circuit, but still majority of the circuit is the same. Cayman just seems to be very good on handling, very good on grip. The GTR here does seem a little bit bulky through the turns, and I think the Group 3 Nissan GTR is better than the Group 4. Obviously it would be better because it's Group 3, but I mean compared to the other cars in the class. The Group 3 Nissan GTR seems to be a better car in Group 3 than what the Group 4 GTR is in Group 4, if that makes sense. I hope it does. If it doesn't, well, just keep replaying that part of the video until it does make sense. So, where are we now? Lap 4, so we could be going to the pits at the end of the next lap for the undercut. Let's see if I can just keep these tyres in check. So naturally, the front tyres are going to start wearing. You see there on the bottom right of the screen, I've gone down to a rear tyre bias, or brake bias, sorry, which should sort of bring that tyre wear more towards the back of the car, which is what I need, because those front tyres are going to start wearing a lot, and I'm just going to have horrible understeer coming through a lot of the corners. And around this track, understeer is just not the thing you want, because there's so many long flowing corners, especially here through this final sector of the circuit. And just being overtaken by another GTR. We've got a GTR at the front of the pack, so you see there in 3rd place on the left hand side on the panel, TRL, I don't even know how to say his name, TRL off, I don't know, I sound stupid anyway. Just try to follow this guy really closely and make a really silly mistake. Probably while I was trying to pronounce TRL in my mind, and I'm not looking at what the hell I'm doing. I drive a little bit wide, and you see there, crucially, because the pack is so close, you lose 3 positions just from one mistake. In a way I like that, I respect that, because the challenge is there. You make a mistake, you lose out, you get punished. And that's something that I don't like about modern circuits, where you've got so much excessive tarmac runoff. Because you make a mistake, well, just keep your foot in, just drive on the tarmac, and you lose no time. At least here, where there's grass, you lose time, you lose a position, so you get punished for your mistakes, so don't make mistakes. Lesson number 1, children, don't make mistakes on GT Sport. You're going to lose out. So here, I've lost maybe 2 seconds to the group ahead. I'm going to try to undercut some of them. Some of them do go in at the end of lap 5 as well. So essentially, we're going to go in here, get new tyres. I'll have a lap on fresh tyres while the other people are still on older tyres, and I will be able to gain a little bit from that. Let's see if I can. I'm still in 14th, so obviously not ideal. The Audi of Quintin behind me after he got slammed into turn 1 by the overzealous Ferrari. And, well, going to get a penalty there, so leaving the pit lane and getting a welcome sight of a slow down sign in the middle of my screen, just for slightly going beyond track limits. It's very clear though, you know, just don't do it. Again kids, don't make mistakes. You get punished for it. So coming through the apex of 5, we've done it nicely. This lap is it's kind of a crucial lap in the race. Can I get onto terms with the rest of the pack? Because lap 4 really wasn't good, and oh my god, again made a big mistake by running just beyond the limit of the circuit. We're going to have to deal with 2.258 worth of penalty before the end of the race. Okay, here we are then. This is the run up to the line at the end of lap number 6. Let's see how these people are going to come out the pit lane. There are people exiting the pit lane right now, and I missed my braking marker into turn 1, slamming the Ferrari into the wall. I was just concentrating way too much on the people coming out of the pit lane, so much so that I actually smashed right into the rear end of this Ferrari, this innocent Ferrari. Although, interestingly, he was the guy who smashes the back of the Audi a couple of laps ago. But, well, that was still very silly for me, really, really silly. And I've lost maybe 2 seconds. You see the gap to the Atenza ahead in 12th. That gap has increased definitely as a result of that contact, so really silly mistake to make, as I was just focused way too much on the cars and not my braking point. So again, don't make mistake, kids, don't do it. So through this apex, hit it a bit more nicely that time, actually managing to keep somewhat towards the curb. That should be happening now that I've got newer, fresher rubber and therefore more grip. So we're going to flash forward towards lap 9 of 11. So actually it's developed a little bit. I was still in 14th, you know, I'm right at the back, but we've still got a race on our hands here. The guy ahead just ghosted out momentarily. I didn't know what he was doing. I thought he was going to serve his penalty. He didn't. We do have the McLaren behind now, fighting for last. This is the good thing about this, you know, you can still have a battle for last place. And in most games, if you're fighting for last place, it's just an absolute shit show. It's a horror show. But here, people are just genuinely fighting, and it's good to see. So, last couple of corners on lap number 9. Just 2 laps left to go. At the end of this one, the Ferrari you can see has dropped me. He's got away, and instead it's this Mitsubishi Lancer which has taken his place as the person in my firing line. So TRL unpronounceable name is actually into the lead now, so he's proving what he can do in the Nissan GTR. So I've got no excuses really. The GTR is a race winner on this circuit, on this day in history. That GTR can win the race, and here I am languishing back in 13th. So we're going to try to maybe get 12th here. The Mitsubishi really deep through turn 3. That's going to compromise him on the exit of turn 4. We've got a yellow flag. I can just see a car on the right hand side there, up the other end of the straight. Now coming down here, I'm going to slipstream him, but he's actually indicating for for me to go left because he's actually going to serve his penalty there. How sort of genuine was that? That was a really sort of nice little touch there from him to kind of say, look, I'm going to serve my penalty, don't go into the back of me, go to my left. That was actually a really sort of nice little message. I felt really warm and fuzzy inside when I saw that. That's how cool my life is. Anyway, coming through the chicane, I'm going to have to really nail this one. You see the group 4 up ahead. I'm 2.7 seconds behind that group. 2.6. No, yeah, 2.7. So I'm kind of hoping for something to happen there. If it does, I'm in with a shot of 11th out of 15. Wow, what a result. Anyway, I still have a problem behind. The group ahead goes 3 abreast. Big banky boy. I'm going to receive some contact from behind. My brakes weren't quite on point there. You can see the front tyre wear is absolutely shocking on this car. And actually, as a result, the gap has actually increased to the people ahead. So big battle behind between the McLaren and the Audi. I think the Evo. So he served his penalty, slowed down to serve his penalty, and then by going to the back of me, he's going to get another penalty. And, whoa, actually, up ahead, going really narrow. These guys are really fighting over that position. So the gap was up to 3.3, now down to 1.3. I've gained 2 seconds on that final sector. That just shows you how much you slow down by fighting too much. Sometimes it's better just to not fight. So some people question why I'm so cautious. Sometimes I'd rather just, I would lose a position but take no time loss. So someone can go past me, but I'm not going to lose any time. So the people behind me aren't going to catch up. Sometimes that's the better option to take, and then you can fight for that position a little bit later on in the race. But sometimes it's the right approach to take, sometimes it isn't. And sometimes you just get called too cautious on the internet, which does always happen anyway. Coming down to turn 5. So closing in on this group, but again that front tyre wear is absolutely murdering me right now. Got the McLaren all over me coming into the chicane. He's going to have to sit behind for this moment, which isn't a really good place to be behind. You're going to lose a lot of time sitting behind me through here, and that is going to prove to be the case. You see just again that gap ahead gone back up to 1.6. I've lost 3 tenths in this lap. Onto the back straight, the McLaren is going to come past. I do have a penalty, so I don't think it's really worth fighting him right this moment, because I still have ambition of beating some of these people ahead who also have penalties, and ideally, if those penalties are bigger than mine, I could still beat some of them, even if I concede this one position to this guy. So again, minimal time loss there, and I think I was going to lose to him anyway because he was right at my tail, and I'm going to have to serve this penalty. Into the third, or the fourth to last corner, this is the third to last corner here. Bit of a slide into the entry. We get through okay. That is a really close group. What is quite going to happen there, I don't know. Luckily, they don't actually fight that one too much. How big are their penalties, though? So the McLaren is going to finish ahead, but how big are the penalties of the Italian and the Austrian ahead? I've actually run out of fuel. I've run out of fuel just before the line, and I've just about come through to finish in 12th. I did actually overtake the Italian there, finishing in 12th, and as I say, my main target is always to finish ahead of where I started the race, so I did manage that in the end by going up 1 position, earning 1,030 points for that one. That is the result. That is round number 6 of the manufacturers. Here is the table so far. So sitting in 132nd at this current moment. So again, still within target to become a member of the SS once again. But that is the end of the video. I do hope you enjoyed it as always, guys. Do let me know your thoughts. A bit cleaner this time, so you probably won't have to shower just after this video, maybe the next one instead. Well, I did actually ram off that Ferrari, that was quite filthy. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it as always. Subscribe for more, hit the like button if you enjoyed it. I shall see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.
Listen.